When you get your weather forecast from WESH 2,
you get the advantage. We guide you through every forecast the same way.
With accuracy, never hype.
With clarity, not confusion. Because our team has the most experience covering Central Florida weather.
Backed by powerful tools like First Warning Live Radar, tracking storms clearer, faster, and in real time.
It's the advantage you get from WESH 2.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi and WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
Right now at noon, the latest out of Venezuela as gunfire breaks out overnight. We'll tell you how lawmakers are now reacting as Congress returns to the Capitol. Plus,
he's still very emotional about it. His fear is not having friends, not fitting in.
As Orange County students head back to class, we hear from parents of the students left without a school to return to.
WESH 2 News starts now.
Good afternoon. Great to have you with us. I'm Alan Campbell.
And I'm Nancy Alvarez. We begin with the very latest developments on the arrest of Nicolás Maduro.
Overnight, we learned gunfire erupted near the presidential palace in Venezuela's capital city.
And late this morning, Governor Ron DeSantis announced he is looking into possible state charges against Maduro.
He was obviously very involved with bringing drugs, particularly to Florida and across the. But you know what he would also do? And this is not in the federal indictment in New York. He would empty his prisons and send them to America across the border. And we'd end up with some of these people in Florida, Tren de Aragua gang members that were in prison there. And he did that. And so to me, that is a very hostile act.
And right now, Maduro remains in custody in New York. And as we take a live look over Capitol Hill in Washington now, members of the Trump administration met with House and Senate leaders Monday night to update them on the military operation in Venezuela. The closed-door session lasted for about 2 hours. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi were among the administration officials who led this classified session. House Speaker Mike Johnson came out of the briefing standing by the administration's actions, while also noting he does not expect troops on the ground.
The way that this is being described, I think, is accurate. This is not a regime change. This is a demand for change of behavior by a regime.
Democrat and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer criticized the administration's lack of a plan moving forward.
Well, this briefing, while very extensive and long, posed far more questions than it ever answered. Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
This week, a war powers resolution that would prohibit U.S. military action in Venezuela without approval from Congress is heading for a vote in the Senate. The U.S. operation in Venezuela has been drawing widespread condemnation from governments around the world, but also support from refugees who wanted to see Maduro and regime gone.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is near the Venezuelan border sharing more from the international fallout.
All right, and WESH 2 has been in contact with citizens inside Venezuela. Dora Davila Mendoza says she initially thought people were setting off leftover fireworks. She later found out it was part of the U.S. military operation to capture Maduro.
The power went out at around 2 in the morning and didn't come back until about 11 a.m. Those of us on this side really didn't know what was going on.
Former Volusia County resident Ciro Castañeda, who now lives in Venezuela, tells us the night was terrifying for not only him, but also his 13-year-old son after a missile destroyed a building behind his house. In the days since, both Castañeda and Mendoza say many people are only leaving their homes for essentials and also food. The uncertainty about what comes next is driving the fear. Now, coming up at 12:30, we're looking at the impacts this is having on Central Florida airports. And remember, you can always find these stories online. Just go to our website, wesh.com.
After another foggy start this morning, we are seeing some beautiful sunshine this afternoon. First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran is here.
Yeah, let's check in with her right now because it's shaping up to be a beautiful afternoon.
It is, but we're going to be dealing with fog once again tomorrow. So I want to give you a big heads up before you head out the door that we are going to be dealing with areas of patchy fog, and some of which could be dense again tomorrow. So we're not quite done with the fog yet. But as Alan and also Nancy just mentioned earlier, we are dealing with lots of sunshine. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Look how clear and dry it is this afternoon. So we are looking at a beautiful day to get outside. Temperatures very comfortable right now at 75 in Daytona Beach as well as in New Smyrna Beach. And good afternoon, Melbourne. You're currently at 77 degrees. Breaking out your 12-hour forecast, it's going to be a nice day to get outside. We'll be warming up nicely, though. We'll top out around 80 degrees, which is well above average. Even lovely weather if you have dinner plans outside this evening. And then overnight, we are expecting that fog to develop once again. Breaking down your weather headlines, feeling like spring the next couple of days. Chance of rain are going to be pretty low, but I am tracking our next big cold front that will be rolling in. I'll show you when coming up in less than 15 minutes.
This afternoon, we're tracking breaking news out of Capitol Hill. U.S. Congressman Doug LaMalfa of California has died. He was 65 years old. LaMalfa was in his 7th term in Congress and served as a member of the Republican Party. President Donald Trump expressing tremendous sorrow over his death today, calling him an ally. LaMalfa's death could have big implications for Congress. The GOP now has narrow control of the U.S. House with only 5 more seats than Democrats. Also breaking this afternoon, NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps is resigning.
Yeah, he has been with the organization for over 20 years. His resignation comes after a federal trial that made public inflammatory texts he sent during revenue sharing negotiations. Now, those texts drew some backlash from supporters. Phelps will leave at the end of this month before the start of the season. NASCAR has not announced an immediate replacement.
New at noon, a judge just issued another arrest warrant for the woman accused of killing her dog at Orlando International Airport. Investigators say this woman, Allison Lawrence, drowned her 9-year-old miniature schnauzer in the airport bathroom because she wasn't allowed to take the dog on an international flight. Her lawyer is trying to withdraw from the case. He says she hasn't paid him or even kept in contact with him. In fact, he was supposed to be in court for a hearing this morning but didn't show up. Now the judge is ordering him to explain why and also put out a warrant to arrest Lawrence.
They'll have 5 days to show good cause in writing for his failure to appear. As for Ms. Lawrence, the court will issue a capias.
There was already another warrant for Lawrence after she missed a hearing in September. If she is taken back into custody, she'll be held with no bond until she goes on trial for animal cruelty.
Right now, police in Eustis are looking for a man behind a possible attempted abduction. Now, we broke this story yesterday at noon. Investigators say the man in a white Nissan SUV stopped a woman who was walking by. They say he was talking to her about where to grab a drink and offered her $300 to get in the car with him and go somewhere. When she refused, deputies say the man got angry, so the woman ran away. Eustis police described the driver as a white man between 50 to 60 years old with short hair, wearing glasses, and a blue shirt. Happening now, the Orange County School Board is meeting to talk about Eatonville's historic Hungerford property. Orange County Public Schools currently owns the land. The district can either sell or donate the land to a nonprofit or transfer it to Eatonville itself. There's a contract drafted between OCPS and Dr. Phillips Charities. We'll bring you the very latest updates on WESH 2 News at 4. The Brevard County School Board will meet in less than an hour to talk more about possibly closing Cape View Elementary School. This will be a joint workshop with Cape Canaveral City Council. The district says enrollment at the school continues to decline, and the building is in need of a lot of costly upgrades. This afternoon's workshop gets underway at 1 o'clock, and the district headquarters in Vieira, it is open to the public.
Today, thousands of Orange County students are back in class. Parents of more than 200 students are scrambling now just to find new schools since the sudden closure of the Legends Academy charter school.
It's been a journey. It's definitely been difficult, just trying to make sure that I have somewhere safe for my son to go.
Legends Academy was a K-8 charter school in Orlando's Washington Shores neighborhood. Just last week, the directors abruptly decided to shut it down because of what they called unsustainable financial challenges. Orange County Public Schools says they don't know how many students are moving for the second semester, but one mother says her 8th grade son is going to Carver Shores Middle School for the rest of his 8th grade year.
So we were already in the process of making a transition from charter to OCPS. We just had to do it a little bit sooner than expected.
An OCPS spokesperson says the district started helping Legends Academy families who are looking to register their children into the public school district. You know, running a marathon, it is definitely not easy, especially when you have to pay for it.
For one woman, it's even worse. She paid and didn't even get to run.
They called me names. They told me there'd be consequences if I went forward with trying to get my money back.
Next on WESH 2, one woman's costly scam horror story and how you can avoid the same mistake.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Farah and Farah.
You're watching WESH 2 News.
This afternoon, we're learning more about the criminal past of Darnell Hairston.
Yeah, he's the man charged in Flagler County with kidnapping a young boy. On New Year's Eve, deputies say Hairston ran during a traffic stop. Deputies tackled him, but a 15-year-old boy who was with him took off in Hairston's truck. A chase ensued and nearly went into the Putnam County line and ended with a crash into a patrol car. An 11-year-old boy was found tied up on the back floor of that pickup. Sheriff Rick Staley believes Hairston kidnapped the boy to silence him about a sex offense investigation and says Hairston could spend the rest of his life in prison, especially considering his past. The sheriff says Hairston has more than 30 cases dating back to 1987. Among the most serious, his arrest in July of 1998 and eventual conviction for attempted lewd and lascivious assault on a child. The following year, he was arrested and later convicted of kidnapping a woman and her 2 kids, using an electronic stun gun to shock her and threaten her 4-month-old and 18-month-old children. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison but was released after 5. Hairston will be arraigned on the 27th for this most recent case. Well, some may think it's crazy to pay just to run a race. Never mind you pay, then the race never happens.
WESH 2's Lindsay Sablon talked to a woman who's now hoping you learn from her mistake. So Jensen did make contact with the ticketing website and asked for digital proof the race actually happened, but they refused to provide it.
That's terrible.
I know, right? It's just so disappointing.
Especially for the kids. They were looking forward to it. Then, because the color run is a very popular
and
event.
it's so fun. Yeah, even for those of us who don't run, we see the appreciation.
Just watch it.
And yeah,
it looks like a lot of fun.
It's very Instagrammable, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, so let's get outside and talk about really a flip in the day, right? Because it started foggy again, but it's nice now.
It is gorgeous. In fact, here is a live look at Sanford this morning. You can see just gorgeous sunshine across our area. I got to tell you, there's always some devoted fishermen that are usually fishing right along the riverfront, and they are still there. They're just hanging out in the sunshine, basking in it. Don't blame them. It is gorgeous out right now. To take a live look at Sanford, that shot courtesy of our friends Venue 520 there on the water. We're currently at 76 in Sanford this afternoon, 77 in the City Beautiful, and 75 right now in Daytona Beach. Satellite and radar showing clear skies, dry conditions. Today is literally a perfect day to get outside. It will be a tad warmer, though, than yesterday. We only climbed into the mid-70s for your high yesterday afternoon. That's because of the stubborn low clouds. But don't worry about that. We are looking at plenty of sunshine, dry conditions, and a high of 80 this afternoon. We really, truly couldn't ask for a nicer forecast to get outside. Tomorrow morning, another cool start. Will be in the low 50s in Ocala, 56 in Sanford tomorrow morning, and 57 in Orlando. Winds will be pretty light, so that's going to allow for some fog to develop once again. Once that fog lifts by about late morning tomorrow, we are looking at another gorgeous day in store with high temperatures in the upper 70s. And then we're looking at a spring-like warm-up as we go into the latter half of the week. Looking at a high of Thursday of 80 degrees, 81 on Friday, 82 the high on Saturday. But big changes are on the way as we head into next week. This is all because of a cold front that's going to be moving through on Sunday. So Saturday is still really warm with highs in the low 80s. We could see a few showers Sunday, but really the rain, the best shot for rain will be on Sunday as that front approaches. And Sunday is what I call the transition day. It's going to take a bit for that front to clear us, but it's also going to bring us increasing cloud cover, and those temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the day on Sunday. So that cold air really truly won't be in place until Monday of next week. So here's a look. We go from a high of 82 on Saturday to a high of just 66 on Monday. So this is a pretty strong cold front. In fact, we are looking at morning lows on Monday, quite chilly. I'll show you those coming up at 12:47. But for now, here's a look at your Central Florida certified most accurate 7-day forecast. A spring-like warmth and staying dry through the end of the week. A couple showers can't be ruled out Saturday, but a better shot for rain coming in on Sunday with that front. And then the bottom drops out for next week. It is going to be a chilly week ahead, so make sure you find those thick winter coats again because you're going to need it. Back to you guys.
As many young Americans feel the squeeze of rising prices and interest rates, buying a home can feel like a distant dream.
Yeah, but there might be hope in this new year.
All this new home supply is hitting the market at a time where the demand is still somewhat sluggish.
Up next, why experts think this year could be the right time to buy.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Farah and Farah.
Every day at 4, WESH 2 News is in your community, covering the stories for Central Florida. Nancy Alvarez, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. WESH 2 News at 4. Local, live, late breaking.
You get the advantage when you start your day with WESH 2 News Sunrise. Breaking news from across Central Florida. An accurate forecast built for your day and the best routes to avoid any backups. I'm Meredith McDonough. Watch WESH 2 News Sunrise.
Your live eye in the sky, covering breaking news in Central Florida. This is Chopper 2, and it's only on WESH 2 News. Local, live, late breaking.
A battle over straws is brewing in the Sunshine State. First, there was a push to ban plastic straws. Now lawmakers on the other side are trying to ban paper straws for good. The legislature has introduced a new bill called Local Regulation of Drinking Straws and Stirrers. It would preempt local governments from enacting single-use plastic straw bans without adding environmental requirements for alternatives. The legislation points to studies of harmful chemicals nicknamed forever chemicals used to make the straws.
I remember straws when we were kids, and we always had paper straw, and they always mushed up, right? So you just,
I think it's important that we use the reusable straws so that we don't have to deal with the paper or the plastic. I don't like either one of them, so that's why I drink out of my Yeti all the time.
The legislation would give local governments until January 1st of next year to amend any existing straw regulations that do not comply. The bill does not require cities or counties to regulate straws at all, but if they do, those rules would need to align with the state's standards.
And Nancy, this and many other proposals will be considered when the Florida legislative session starts in Tallahassee 1 week from today on Tuesday, January 13th.
In recent years, soaring home prices have made the idea of becoming a homeowner really a distant dream for many Americans.
Good news, though. Experts believe 2026 could bring some relief. Here's Jen Sullivan reporting.
We are counting down the days to the Winter Olympics.
And for all the excitement we are feeling, the athletes are feeling the nerves.
Hoping to be able to not just get our foot in the door, but now kind of kick down that door.
Straight ahead, we'll show you one of Team USA's athletes' unique journey from a Massachusetts farm to the Olympic Games.
Closed captioning is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
We continue to closely follow the very latest out of Venezuela a day after Nicolas Maduro pled not guilty to drug trafficking charges in front of a U.S. judge. Debate continues on Capitol Hill over the future of the country. NBC's Alice Barr has the very latest. Flights from the Caribbean and South America are now resuming after Caribbean airspace was temporarily shut down Saturday. We saw many people from those delayed flights arrive at Orlando International Airport yesterday, but airports across Florida, South America, and the Caribbean are left with a backlog as passengers try to rebook flights.
My
flight was fine, but what was surprising was that at the airport in Colombia, they were announcing flights to Venezuela.
MCO is expecting several more arrivals from Colombia today, and airlines have been adding flights and bigger planes in an effort to help impacted travelers across the Caribbean. There will continue to be many developments in this story, of course, in the hours and days ahead. We are bringing you the very latest as it happens right here on WESH 2 and as always online at WESH.com. All right, now we want to get over to Cam Tran with a check of the forecast, which is beautiful right now, quite different than how it was looking out there this morning.
I know it was a very foggy start this morning, Nancy, but thankfully that fog is now gone and we are looking at just gorgeous sunshine here across the board. As we take a live look outside, this is a look from Tavares where you can see just blue skies and just a great day to get outside. Take a look at our satellite and radar. That fog is gone and we are just seeing nothing but sunshine out there, and that's going to allow those temperatures to warm up to near 80 degrees today. In fact, we're already near 80 at 77 in Orlando as well as in St. Cloud, currently 75 in New Smyrna Beach. So we are talking about slightly warmer temperatures than what we saw yesterday, but thankfully it will be dry and we are looking at very comfortable conditions as we go into the evening as well. But heads up, more fog is on the way come Wednesday morning, and then we're also talking about a pretty strong cold front heading our way. I'll show you which locations could drop back down into 30s again. That's all coming up in less than 15 minutes.
All right, Cam. The Crown Act is a law focused on banning discrimination based on hairstyle or expression. It passed in half the country except Florida, but one group is now working to change that. WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown was there as the law took center stage in Eatonville and tells us why advocates are eager to get this act passed. Black Girls Govern is planning an advocacy day next month in Tallahassee to get the Crown Act passed here in Florida. It's been exactly 5 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol, and there are still many questions. Next on WESH 2, the continued push to hold those involved accountable.
Watch Alan Campbell on WESH 2 News Sunrise.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is officially shutting down months after Congress passed spending cuts that stripped it of over $1 billion in funding. The nonprofit's board of directors voted to dissolve the organization. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting was created by Congress in 1957 and helped support more than 1,500 local radio and TV stations. Next on WESH 2, the countdown is on how the Olympic flame is keeping torchbearers warm with just 1 month to go until the games begin.
First Morning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Florida Window and Door.
When you get your weather forecast from WESH 2,
You get the advantage. We guide you through every forecast the same way.
with accuracy, never hype.
With clarity, not confusion. Because our team has the most experience covering Central Florida weather.
Backed by powerful tools like First Warning Live Radar, tracking storms clearer, faster, and in real time.
It's the advantage you get from WESH 2.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi and WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
Today marks 5 years since President Donald Trump's supporters broke into the U.S. Capitol in an effort to overturn the U.S. 2020 election. Since returning to the White House, President Trump pardoned everyone charged in connection with the attack. Here is a live look at Capitol Hill now, where House Democrats and members of the January 6th committee are holding a special hearing right now to examine threats to free and fair elections. House lawmakers released new testimony last week from federal prosecutor Jack Smith, who filed charges against President Trump after the January 6th Capitol attack. Take a listen to what he had to say.
So did you develop evidence that President Trump was responsible for the violence at the Capitol on January 6th?
So our view of the evidence was that he caused it and that he exploited it and that it was foreseeable to him.
So Smith ultimately dropped the charges after the 2024 election because he's constitutionally prohibited from prosecuting a sitting president. Many Republican lawmakers have criticized the investigation into the Capitol attack, claiming it's a weaponization of the justice system against President Trump and his allies. We are officially 1 month away from the Milan Cortina Winter Olympic Games. The opening ceremonies jumpstart the games on February 6th in Italy. So what do ice cream and the Olympics have in common? For one athlete from Massachusetts, a fateful trip to get some ice cream at the age of 11 helped introduce him to the sport of luge and ignited his Olympic dream. Eli Rosenberg introduces us to double luge athlete for Team USA. The Olympic flame has 1 month left on its journey across Italy. Right now, it's keeping the torchbearers warm as the flame travels through snowy mountaintops, arriving in the city of Bologna today. By the opening ceremonies, the flame will have traveled 7,400 miles across Italy. And some local names will be competing on the international stage in 1 month. Ocala native Erin Jackson will compete for Team USA in 2 speed skating events. She became the first black woman to win an individual Winter Olympic gold back in 2022. The Milan Cortina Games will be her 3rd Olympic performance. All right, Cam, let's get outside, talk about the 7-day forecast. She just said right before you came over here, hey, Nancy, I'm going to give them the 7-day forecast so they can see the cold front that's coming. And I said, do you have to? Do we have to talk about it?
Actually, you know what's more impressive? Your facial expression.
No,
when I pointed to
I made
Monday.
a face.
You're like, no. Okay, well, there are some people who like the cold, and there's some people, like a lot of us, Nancy and I included, who don't like the cold. So this 7-day forecast, I'm trying to be optimistic here, has a little bit of something for everyone. If you love the sunshine and spring-like temperatures, the next several days here, all the way through the end of the week, are going to be your days. You definitely want to take advantage of it. We're looking at perfect weather today with a high of 80. We're going to continue that sunshine through the end of the week. On Saturday will be the warmest. We could be nearing records on Saturday. We are looking at a high of 82 degrees. But a cold front arriving on Sunday is going to bring some big changes our way. Come Monday morning, we're talking about temperatures falling back down into the 30s for folks in Ocala, and in Orlando, dropping down to 46 degrees, 46 in Kissimmee. So chilly air is making a comeback, but not until next week, though. Right now, as you step outside, it is gorgeous out. As we take a live look at Disney Springs this afternoon, it is sunny and dry and very comfortable to be outside, in fact. 77 right now out by the theme park district, 74 in Leesburg, and good afternoon Daytona Beach. You're also in the mid-70s at 75 degrees. As we take a look at our satellite and radar, that foggy conditions, they've cleared out, and we are looking at clear skies, plenty of sunshine and dry conditions today. So really a perfect day to get outside. High of 80 this afternoon in Orlando. Will drop down into the middle 60s by this evening, and then tomorrow morning starting off in the middle 50s. So it's going to be a cool start, and we are again going to be tracking some fog come Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, another beautiful day to get outside with high temperatures in the upper 70s, and then again staying into the low 80s from Thursday through the end of the week. But then that cold front arrives, and that is going to bring some changes on Sunday. Now the good news is right now with the timing of the front, it shouldn't really impact the Disney Marathon weekend. This is on Thursday here. We are taking a 5K trip around the world. We are looking at comfortable conditions come Thursday morning. Temperatures in the upper 50s again with some patchy fog possible. But those of you running out on Sunday, though, we are looking at likely some fog and mild conditions. So overall, it shouldn't impact those Disney races at the end of the week into the weekend. But boy, Monday, it is going to be cold. Just giving you a huge heads up now. We are talking about temperatures in the 40s in the metro come on to Monday morning of next week. Here's looking at your 7-day along the coastlines. We are looking at mild weather through the end of the week as well. And you too will see a dramatic drop in temperatures by next week. Nancy.
We are just kicking off the new year, but Disney is already looking ahead to summer. Next on WESH 2 News, the fun planned at Disney World this summer, plus the change you'll start to notice now at the Magic Kingdom.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Farah and Farah.
A decades-long friendship is holding strong in Maitland. 35 years after what could have been a tragedy, the Maitland police chief reunited with a boy he pulled from a swimming pool in 1990, who now has a little boy of his own. All these years, the victim's parents have been sending life updates.
I'm going to get teary-eyed here in just a second. I mean, just mostly haven't seen Robert in so long, and living vicariously through the messages and the cards.
Robert, what's it like for you to see the chief? It's been a little while, right?
Yeah, he looks a lot the same and a little bit different. But
35 years.
Yeah, but it's always it's kind of like seeing an old friend.
Bob's parents have told this story for decades, knowing it doesn't always have a happy ending. And now these two families are lifelong friends and continue to share the importance of CPR. Cool Kids Summer is coming back to Disney World, and we're finding out more about what is being offered starting May 26th. So you can meet your favorite Toy Story characters at the Magic Kingdom. Woody, Jesse, and friends will be at Diamond Horseshoe. Here's the big one. Both water parks will be open again this summer. There will also be special deals throughout the summer for Florida residents and pass holders. We have more information on WESH.com. A reminder, if you're heading to the Magic Kingdom soon, the Disney Experience app confirms work is now underway to repaint Cinderella Castle. It will return to its blue and gray color palette. The cranes and lifts used for painting will be removed by noon each day. On January 28th, prepare for changes to the shows Let the Magic Begin, Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair, and Happily Ever After. We have several stories we're working on for you today at 4 o'clock, including the fallout from the U.S.'s operation in Venezuela. And now Governor DeSantis says state charges could be coming for the captured leader. And the future of the Hungerford property in Orange County still in question. The critical meeting happening today.
The U.S. strikes Venezuela.
The capture of Venezuela's president and his wife.
Both of whom now face American justice.
Here in Central Florida, a community bracing for what's next.
We are hopeful but facing uncertainty.
WESH 2 News, live as developments break.
We asked, are you going to invade the country? We were told no.
On TV, online, and on the app.
We're going to run the country right.
We need to get a democratic government back in Venezuela.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News.